least I thought I was gonna.
Sends it to all 2 of my non-D&D friends.
Mhm.
No, literally, like, every time we go live, I'm just like, hey, come listen to me play D&D with my friends.
Yeah, usually Flux immediately posts it in our other group and gets a bunch of them coming over.
Alright, so I'm trying to load it on my phone. It's not loading for me. It's the stream loading for anyone else.
Oh, hold on.
It is playing for me.
Perfect.
It's playing for me.
Alright, just so you know, my phone's not super loading it well right now, so if there's something in chat that needs attention, I might not see it super fast, so there's that. Anyway, hello! Hello, long-lost friends who haven't heard us live for quite a while now. We had some tech issues, but from what I can tell, they've been resolved. So back to my little shtick here. Good evening, everyone. My name is Avery, and I will be your lead idiot. I mean, your dungeon master for tonight. I use they, he pronouns, and before we jump into today's session, I'm just going to have everyone go around and say their out-of-character name, and then say their in-character name, and then their in-character pronouns. So, let me open the Discord call real quick. Alicia, do you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Sure, I'll go first. My name's Alicia. I'll be playing Callie, and she uses she, her pronouns.
Alrighty, Caleb.
Hi, my name is Caleb. I use they, them pronouns. I'll be playing Ferenz, who uses he and they pronouns.
Flux.
Hi, I'm Flux. I am he, she, or they pronouns. I play as Kokia.
And then we'll come back. Oh, Hale.
Hi, I'm Hale. I play Basil, and Basil uses he, him pronouns.
And then, last but not least, Stormy.
My name is Stormy. I use he, him pronouns. And I'm playing Finn, who also uses he, him pronouns. And we have a robot friend, apparently.
Yeah, anyone else hearing that?
Yeah. Caleb, your mic is buzzing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're good.
You're good.
And then, Cory plays Lim. We're hearing Cory might be coming late, but they might not be able to make it. We're just waiting back to see. So there's our little intros there. Like I mentioned earlier, we couldn't do episode 2 live due to tech issues. We're working on getting the transcription done. Once the transcription's done, it will be available on YouTube. Even more exciting announcements I'd like to share is that episode 1, Questions and Origin, is now available on YouTube, Spotify, and Anchor FM. So whichever way you like to listen / watch, episode 1 is now up for grabs. Next on our little agenda here, we have our episode recap and disclaimers. So, as you've likely noticed, when you click on this channel, it has the mature filter on. This means that both streamers and viewers should be over 18. If not, we kindly ask you to leave. Second, D&D involves a lot of improv acting, and while I can foresee some triggers and warn you of them, I can't warn you all of them in real time. Some common triggers that come up in this podcast are blood and injury, violence in combat, swearing, moderate amounts of potty humor, mind control, amnesia, betrayal, and backstabbing. Any additional triggers that I've noticed will be put in the description of the YouTube video version of this episode. We are starting this episode at 9:30 tonight. It's going to end at midnight, usually around halfway through, like 11 or so. We'll have a 5-minute break because we all need to get go to the bathroom, drink water, that sort of stuff. And that's our little disclaimers to start with. And then for our little session recap, we're going to be, like usual, picking it off from last session. Last session was episode 2, All Aboard the Dracoa Express. The party had met many new NPCs, such as the rabbit folk triplets known as the Newberry siblings, who worked at the train station, hugged the Warforged train attendant, and a group of quote-unquote train thieves, led by Taylor, a half-elf who claims Haven Enterprises, the same company that made the very train the party was riding, killed their parents. Taylor is also Henry, one of the shopkeepers from episode 1's sibling. And then, according to Taylor, they made a plan with Farron to have the train be nearly empty so they could safely steal and destroy the train to exact their revenge against Haven Enterprises. The train, much to their horror, ended up containing the party, the train staff, and a goblin family. Having destroyed the tracks, it now seems the only way the party and passengers of the train can continue their way to the Draco Republic is to ride on horseback, along with the help of the wow, if I can talk tonight. The only way they can continue to go to the Draco Republic is to ride on horseback, utilizing the help of the very train thieves that got him in this situation in the first place. And last session, since Caleb couldn't make it, I just had it where Friends was like basically just knocked out the whole time. So, understandably, we're gonna start with Dear Friends first. So, Friends, what happened last time? I think your mic's still buzzing a little bit.
Yeah, it's still buzzing.
Alright.
Hello?
Yes, that's a lot better.
Okay.
Okay. So, Friends, last time, what happened is you got just to the border and you noticed some, like, weird figures on horseback near the train. You were in the middle of walking down the aisle when you noticed the figures and a loud boom, like the tracks had been blown out, and that's what happened. The tracks in front of you had been blown out. Because you were walking while this was happening, when the train came to an abrupt stop, you fell and hit your head on a seat, and you've been knocked out the whole time. Talking and fighting has been happening. So you wake up. I'm gonna say your party members were nice enough to like put you up in a chair and not just leave you on the floor. But you wake up, and the weird figures you saw outside are now inside. But everything seems more or less fine. Like they're just people are talking with each other, and you really just are like, what the heck happened? And I'm gonna leave it to you to decide who you want to talk to be like, what happened while I passed out.
Alright, so first, I wake up in like a cold sweat. And I just start looking around, panic, and I'm like, Lim, Kokia, Callie, Finn, any. Oh, okay, everybody's here? Is everybody alive?
Yeah, we're all alive.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're okay.
I feel alive.
Alright.
I don't feel alive, but I am somehow.
Me and the rat are good.
Yeah, look at the rat. Look, the rat's got her in an outfit now.
Cause
I am not looking at the rat.
Oh, come on. Look,
alive
he's
for
so
taking.
cute though.
the issue was, it turns out he's a human, and he was naked, so we had to put him in a onesie. Basil just tries to, like, whisper that, so, like, only the party hears it.
Rat, so are you carrying around? Okay, first, how old is this human this naked human you've been carrying around?
Well, actually, I'm not sure, he's humanoid. Age,
Okay, but
we don't
yeah.
really know. I just know he's not a god. He said that.
Okay.
He said that to me, and that's it. That's all we found out.
He's not a child, right? Like
That's a good question. Can I?
Well, so last time we figured this out because I gestured to the Warforger who's currently recovering on the other side of the train. Hug. Got a little bit of freaky deaky mind control thing happened. She became like conduit for the Raven Queen, so that was really freaky. And then I hit her, and then I healed her, but I think she's okay now. We talked about the Raven Queen stuff. She said something about a Theodore who was a tall elf and no one's seen him for a while. So my guess is that he is a adult. But
Or a very tall child.
well, yeah.
you understand how I can be a little concerned that there are naked men wanting to travel with you as small animals. Like, as a father figure, that's a little concerning to me. All right, and I'm gonna use this situation to fully deflect from what I was about to say earlier. So don't even ask.
Basil starts.
I don't remember who did the Arcana check, but someone did an Arcana check last time, and they found out that he is cursed to be a rat. He didn't choose to be a rat.
Oh.
It was me and Lim, I think.
Like he's stuck like this.
Basil starts like quietly crying at like Caleb caring about him, and is like, thank you, but yeah. And then I repeat like he's stuck and he's cursed.
All right, I just look. Sometimes we get ourselves in situations that we don't always feel comfortable with because we're trying to help other people. And it's okay to say no to things, but it sounds like this is a situation you're comfortable with, so I'm going to support you through it, okay?
Yes, I'm comfortable now that he has clothes on.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, the train, you bumped your head, and like the tracks, yeah, a lot of stuff happened besides the naked rat. Just so you know.
All right.
But good news
But
is you're safe.
really quickly, before that, everybody's here, right? All right. If my ex-wife asks, I was hit in the back of the head by one of the robbers. They snuck their way onto the train, and I was hit in the back of the head. Because if my ex-wife hears about that, all of the guys at the hardware store are gonna laugh at me, and I have a little shred of dignity left to uphold.
I mean, that is what happened, friends.
See, Callie,
Technically, the robbers did. They are the reason you got hit in the head, so that is technically true. But yes, I will cover for you.
speaking
We're
of
going to get to meet your ex-wife.
Yeah, are we meeting your ex-wife? Is that a thing that's happening?
I am. Look, I don't believe in I don't follow many of the gods of this land, but something tells me at some point in my storyline you're going to be able to meet my ex-wife.
We have a
I'm
mom.
No, she is not your mom. Don't let her tell you that. Okay.
Wait, what? Kokia? Wait, hold on.
We might have a mom.
All right. So, speaking of these train robbers, did you all finish the job, or?
Well,
How
I
are-
was gonna.
Oh, you go ahead, Basil.
I was gonna, like knives were out and it was about to go down because there was a fresh baby here. We don't do shit in front of fresh babies. A fresh baby. If you look
fresh
over
baby.
there, there's a baby. They're heading out, to get on horseback, but that's baby. It's not a pillow. It's baby. Knives were out, and everybody else came in, and the knives went away, and then suddenly our enemies were our friends, and Hug got possessed by a bird queen, and started, trying to kill us, I'm presuming, and then Hug got depossessed by the bird queen. I don't know, maybe they needed to go like build a nest somewhere, and now we're here.
Lim.
All right.
I think the traveler worked through Lim. Because they went up and they, like, did a thing and, like, put their hand on Hug's forehead and then was like, she got depossessed. So I don't know if that's good or not. It was good for the train. So, but it seems Lim took a little bit of, got hurt in the process.
Yeah, like it was so
Well, it looks
powerful
like
that it was really powerful magic that was like above Lim's capabilities, and that's why he got hurt, because it wasn't something that he should have been able to done, but he was temporarily able to do it with the help of he never told you who, but Finn's guess is pretty good, I'd say.
All right. So he's taking a little nap. Now, the people that were robbing us. First, you can tell me a little bit about them, and then you let me know where they are.
Well, we're not fighting them. Because, well, we
I'm
were.
aware.
And then turns out the leader of them is named Taylor. And Taylor turned to us and went, well, was it? I don't remember what family member got killed. It's been a hot second.
I think it was her parents. She's
parents?
Henry's sister,
what are Taylor's
Henry's
parents?
sister.
Oh, sister, okay.
Oh, Taylor's they them.
Oh, sorry.
Cool. So they were, their
unit.
parents got killed by Haven Enterprises. So that's, and they made a deal with Farton to, like, have this train be, like, basically empty so that no one would get hurt. And then we had to get on, and then also this family had to get on, so something went wrong.
Yeah, the gassy
Alright.
thing.
Yeah. The changeling who keeps being shady.
Alright, question number 2. Where is this Taylor?
Well, they're
I
in
think-
the.
I think
Sorry,
they're in the next
Alicia.
car.
And also, I did something super cool to their guns, so they don't have a gun anymore. Just
So
so you know.
cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
What did you do to their gun, Basil?
I broke it.
Did
How'd you
Steven
do
get a
that?
picture of that?
Oh yeah, just
I don't know.
just as
Turn
just
to
as
Steven.
Just as you say that, you see Steven pops out a little picture out of the Polaroid shot, and you see like a bolt of magical energy hit the gun, and then there's another photo, and then it like sparks and looks like it explodes, and then there's another picture showing Taylor looking like they're about to cuss, and then the gun's on the ground, like the gun was heated up, so it was like they had to drop it because their hand was burning from holding it.
Oh, Basil, I gotta say, not only am I proud of the level of magic you're doing right here, but I'm really proud of your control of it. This type of stuff can be real dangerous, but you're showing that you're doing a good job of directing it to where it needs to be. Keep that
Thank
up,
you.
all right?
Thank you so much. There was just. I also have dad instincts and the baby, and.
Of course.
And Basil just weeps into his hands.
I wordlessly hand Basil like a handkerchief. Just like, here.
Everybody carries handkerchiefs now.
You did it, you're okay.
Thanks, buddy.
You did so good.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Alright.
you did it.
Do you say this Taylor's in the other train car?
Yeah, they should be. Next one over.
I'm gonna go have a quick talk with them, if that's okay with y'all.
Okay, yeah.
Like, by yourself?
Y'all can come with if you want. I just ask that y'all be quiet for just a moment. Let me work my little bit of magic. I know I don't have the ability to magic like y'all, but you know.
Just so you know, they are planning to get us where we need to go.
Of course.
Yeah.
Alright, perfect.
All right. So I want to walk in. I want to walk in first to that train car. And as I open the door, I want to exude the confidence of a barbarian that's just leveled up, just very coming in very muscular, like my weapon very visible, mustache extra pointy, and just all right. Which one of you is Taylor?
Yeah,
Jesus.
so let me get my notes open real quick because I have notes. I actually did last time I didn't have descriptions ready. This time I do. So you walk in and the first person you run across is someone that you actually almost trip over. There's like a 3-foot tall goblin. Their coats like tied around their waist because it's hot inside the train. They let out like a eek as they realize that you're there, and then they look up and then see how tall you are. Then they eek again, and then they just go, "Oh, are you with those? You're with the train folks. I don't know if y'all have a name, but the people that we almost fought. You're with them, Mister just to be honest, you're terrifying. Is it okay if I call you Mr. Terrifying? I think it fits.
So, let me ask you my question first. Are you Taylor?
God, no, and I'm so glad I'm not.
All right. Which one of you is Taylor?
Is there a problem? Because I thought we weren't fighting anymore.
I don't ask questions 3 times. I would suggest that this Taylor identify themselves.
So just as you say that, a little bit further down the train, you hear a conversation just end as a dark purple tiefling walks away, and she walks toward the goblin family that your group mentioned earlier. And you can from this distance you can like hear a little bit what she's saying. It sounds like they've got some folks that are gonna bring some extra like layers to keep them warm, and then they're gonna be the ones given a ride to town first. Like she's handling that. She has an air of confidence about her where like no offense to Pocket, you think she's probably higher up on the train thief food chain. Like she's probably one of the higher up people. That being said, you do know that you do know Taylor's pronouns, and you hear her referred to as she, so you know she's not Taylor. She's also a tiefling, and Taylor's a half elf, so you know she's not them. And then the other person that was in the conversation is in fact Taylor, and Taylor, who was kind of engrossed in their previous conversation, didn't really notice what you were saying until Pocket kind of started to look like they were gonna like explode out of fear. And so Taylor goes, "Pocket, what are you doing?" And Pocket goes, "Trying to protect you." And Taylor just they sigh and they go, thank you, buddy, but I think it's best if we just do what the tall guy says, okay?" And Pocket goes, "Okay," and scurries off. And with Pocket out of accidental tripping over range, you are left with Taylor. Taylor is a Native American two-spirit half-elf. They are Henry's sibling. They are the older sibling. They've got their hair in like braided pigtails. Most of the thieves have winter gear on, even though they're in the train. So like Taylor's got a light blue jacket on. They don't have their hat on right now, but you can see like they've got like their hat and gloves attached to their belt. One of their hands you can see is wrapped, and that's the one that got burned with the whole gun incident earlier. The gun is gone and taken care of. It's not an issue anymore. You do see that Taylor does have some other weapons on them, which tracks because they are a fighter. I'll just tell you that right now. That's their class. So they've got I don't have their chute open, but they got stuff like knives and that sort of thing. But they have to like do a little switch with their hands because they were kind of not shot. They had the whole gun incident thing with their dominant hand, so they have to go in with their left, and they just offer it to shake and just go, "Well, you know who I am now, and can I know your name?" And they just have their left hand extended out for you, waiting to see how you respond.
I look down at them because I guess they're sitting down, correct?
They are not sitting down, but they are definitely shorter than you.
All right, then I look down at them and I say, "My name is Ferenc. I am like a father figure to all of these wonderful people. Except for the goblins over there, I don't know them yet. But these are all my children that were on this train that you attacked. You did not get to see me fight because you hit the train in just the right way that I took enough damage and fell backwards. Now, I want you to look me in the eyes and answer this question. I want to pause to gauge how terrified they are.
Why don't you roll what check do I want to have you do? I'm gonna have you roll a check. Where's my D&D Beyond tab?
Is it intimidation?
Yeah, I'm gonna say probably intimidation with advantage right now.
Okay. 19.
So Taylor is the kind of person where between what happened to their parents and their newfound profession, you can tell that they've been through a lot. So like they don't do a lot. There's not a lot of visible signs, but you do see like their hands on their belt are like shaking slightly, like they're grabbing their belt to try to hide the fact their hands are shaking, and they are kind of actually not just their hands, like their whole body's shaking a little bit, but like they don't say anything, but there is like subtle signs there that they are scared of you right now.
One question is, do you do hugs?
And as soon as you say that, they let out this like most surprised, like confused laugh, and they just go, I'm sorry. The last time somebody walked up to me and said, let me ask you one question, they tried to cut my head off. So I just want to make sure that you are asking the question I think I just heard, because you sound like you're not gonna try to kill me unless hug is a code word for trying to kill me.
No, for you to do what you did, you must have been through a lot. And I think that there's probably some level of unpacking that's going to need to happen before you can repent for the harm that you've caused and the fear you've caused in people. But I think that healing process needs to begin with some level of comfort. And I give comfort through hugs. So if you're comfortable with that, I'd like to give you a hug now.
And there's like a pause as they think, and their voice starts to crack as they go, yeah, I take a hug. To be honest, I haven't gotten one since the thing with my parents. And their voice is shaking. They're not crying, but they sound like they're close to crying.
I wrap them in a hug and I say, now, I know that you miss your parents. And what happened to them was very wrong. And I know your parents are very proud of you. This isn't the way. Alright?
And they mutter like a really quiet okay, and just like hug you tighter for a second. And it's after they tighten their hold on you that they go, you know, I didn't think it was gonna come to this. I did try other things first. I tried, you know, I tried suing them. I tried doing my own investigation. I tried hiring detectives, but no one believed me because they just kept saying, well, Haven Enterprises has the most foolproof testing processes. And what I want to know is if they're testing so foolproof, how come my parents, and not just my parents, there was more than just my parents on that train that day. How come all those people are dead if that train was supposedly tested as much as it should? That train didn't just crash, Mr. Ferenz. That train exploded. Trains don't explode on accident. I should know because I've been blowing up tracks and then stealing the very same trains and blowing them up to get revenge. Like, that doesn't just happen with a little tiny mistake. Someone didn't just put them in harm's way. Someone murdered them, Mr. Ferenz. And no one believes me.
I believe you. And it sounds like you've been through a lot. It sounds like you've been doing a lot to honor your parents' memory. But what have you been doing to promote your own healing?
And they just go, well, besides doing this, which normally it goes smoother than this, but I guess I guess my luck was bound around sometimes. I don't know if your pals and the other car have told you yet, but we're actually part of the Remembrance Guild too. Um, I would have felt bad even if you folks weren't trying to join the guild, but definitely feels like a weird coincidence now that this happened. Um, I know, uh, I know you're trying to meet with someone in the Jacob Republic or whatever. We can help get you there. It's the least we can do. And I've been working with the
Hey,
guild.
hold on. I'm not talking about us, and I'm not talking about where we're going. What I asked was, what steps are you taking right now for you? So here's the thing, personal tragedies happen all the time, right? And that moment when your parents were taken from you probably felt like the lowest point in your life, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So, what are you doing right now that is helping you heal from that?
Well, I don't know if you consider this method the right one or not. I don't know if there's any really right way to recover from something like that, but joining the Remembrance Guild has helped me a lot. That's where I've met my friends there, and saving gods turns out isn't that much different from trying to save people. I couldn't control, my parents' death, uh, but the whole god thing, the Remembrance Guild, they have a whole list of gods that are on the verge of dying, and some of them, to be honest, for what they've done, deserve to die, and others don't. And I was not all these gods are ones that I personally worship or know, but I've met a couple, and I can honestly say there's quite a few that don't deserve to die. And from what I gather, one of your friends here knows of one that doesn't really deserve to die either. Not saying that everyone should stop what they're doing and commit their lives to this, but it certainly helped me, son. I've met some great people along the way, and um, so I guess we all just meet our found family in our own way, because seems like you've got one too.
Well, I'm glad that you have a new family. Here's what I want to say. I think I may be overstepping here, so if you want me to stop talking at any point, you tell me, hey, you make me a little uncomfortable, and I will step back. But I think that in order for you to start healing from what has happened, you're going to need to find somebody you can talk to about what happened, you know? Not in a, this is the political ramifications and this is how the train doesn't malfunction and things like that, but start talking about the emotional impact on you, you know? Start talking about how all of these things and the way that they took your parents and the way they refused to acknowledge it, how that affected you. Now, I don't think I could be that person forever, right? But I think you should need to find a person for that if you haven't found one already. And I'm willing to be that person until we get to where we need to go. All right?
All right. Thank you, Mr. Friends. I think I needed to hear that today.
And hey, even though I don't think you made the right decision, I'm proud of you for making the decision. Sometimes when this happens, we can let the whole thing consume us. And I'm proud of you for getting out of that phase, moving on to one where you could take action. That shows a lot of personal strength. Alright?
Well, you know, might not want to feel too proud yet because you don't know what my job in the guild is. While I won't be blowing up trains anytime soon, I do have to do things that get attention off from places we don't want attention, so unfortunately you might see some wanted posters soon, but I don't plan to do the train thing anymore.
Hey, laws are what I don't really if I don't really judge you if you have a wanted poster. In truth, fuck the police, you know?
That is true. You know, your group's very lucky to have such a cool father figure.
I'm lucky to have all of them. They are the ones that make me a good enough person where I could have this conversation with you. Now, I need to go and check on Lim because they've still been passed out for a little while. So I'm gonna take my leave of you. But sounds like we're going through the snow a little bit today. So why don't after we set up campfire, why don't you take first watch shift with me? Why don't we? Why don't you just talk to me for a little bit?
Alright, let's plan on it. And with that, Taylor squeezes in one last hug and then turns back around. And then when they turn back around, he hears him say, "Pocket, didn't you just watch this happen? They're not gonna hurt you, okay?" And Pocket's still like sniveling in the corner. And Taylor goes, "Oh, just come here." And Pocket hurries closer. And once Pocket's closer, they scoot down to their level and give them a hug to make them feel better because they were still kind of nervous around you. And that wraps up that interaction. I'm assuming you're going back to the other car.
But before that, I'm also gonna sit on the floor
Okay.
to make myself pocket tight, and I'm going to say, I'm sorry that I scared you. I just wanted to make sure that I was dealing with some honest people. It seems like you're an honest person too. I'd love to get to know you a little better too. Maybe not tonight, but maybe another night you and I could sit watch together. How does that sound?
Pocket like nods and like wipes their nose and their arm. Just goes, "Yeah, I like that idea. Just maybe don't do the same thing next time, because the last time someone stood next to me like that, they tried to drop kick me to the moon, which apparently is a lot harder than it looks, but it's still quite possible. Because I could have swore they kicked me about halfway there before I fell."
Well, they didn't have the right to do that. I'm sorry that happened to you. And I'm sorry I scared you a little bit. I'm gonna go check on my friend though. If you need anything from me, don't feel free to come ask me, alright?
All right.
And now I'm gonna walk back.
All right. So, So you go back, and Lim was like the group also had propped Lim up on a seat. What is interesting about them is actually, why don't you do an investigation or perception check? And at this point, if anyone else wanted to check on Lim or interact with friends, you could do that too.
Perception or investigation?
Yeah.
Excellent. I have a +0 to both.
I would like to kind of ask friends, like, do you need help? Like, I don't know what I can do, but do you want help? Or are you good?
You know, you'll have to forgive me. I'm not the smartest man. I'm not the most perceptive one either. But
Oh,
maybe I Maybe I can help you out though. You're
Oh,
feel like you're the
Caleb.
smartest or
Caleb.
most perceptive person.
I also
no.
have a +0 to both.
It's okay. This is character building.
Okay.
You might not feel like you're the most perceptive or the smartest, but Finn, I believe in you.
I
Know that you're capable of doing great things. So why don't I help you out?
I appreciate it, but this was your idea, so I would like to assist you. Let people help you. That's what dads do, you know? They ask their kids for help, so this is me giving you help.
All right, hold the flashlight.
Okay. I like, what do I take out of my inventory? I take something out of my inventory and I cast light on it to make a flashlight. Despite the fact that it's fully lit in this in the train car.
Alright, so.
Alright, I got a 16.
Alright, so with the two of you working together, you kind of starting to pick up some things that happen. While Lim didn't tell you who they talked to or what happened, you do notice some odd stuff. So on the hand that they had cast the spell with, there is like it's almost like a charred substance like on their skin right now, and the charred substance as it like expands across like the inner arm, from like wrist to elbow, it does form the traveler symbol, which y'all remember as a sailboat. Like it does form that symbol, and then it continues down his hand, and so his fingertips are charred. There's no like signs of like burning or any of those kind of injuries, so it is safe to say that with that kind of charring minus like the the skin injury you'd expect of like fire, that was probably radiant energy that did that. And with it being the traveler symbol, you probably can assume it's some sort of traveler related thing. You don't know exactly who, what, how, or why. Like you don't know what exactly Lim did, but there is now that on their arm. I remember there was a bunch of heals went around last time, so they are otherwise okay. They are just kind of like knocked out. It looked like they're just like recuperating otherwise from having cast a spell that most definitely wasn't a bard spell and was most definitely over their like level. And that's what you get with a 16.
Do I? It kind of happened very quickly, but is this similar enough to what happened to Hug?
Oh, you think it's like a corruption thing?
Such a corruption as it is. Well, the way you described the corruption in Hug's case was that like she sort of got. Correct me if I'm completely misunderstanding this, but the Raven Queen sort of worked through Hug, basically kind of took control of her body. Is that what happened to, or what? I mean, I can make a check if I need to, but like I'm wondering, is that what happened to Lim as well?
Yeah, so what's interesting about the Raven Queen thing, so what basically happened is Hug kind of like, because she came to not question anything that Raven Queen did, just assumed that she was perfect and there was nothing wrong, and like that she basically, because Hug started to worship her without question, it like opened a metaphorical gateway of sorts for the Raven Queen to like interact with like her soul and mind more, and it was through that interaction where the Raven Queen forced her to share her alignment, like her morality alignment, and that shift in turn forced her to act completely different than how normally she would. So she basically temporarily forced her to act with the Raven Queen's alignment instead of her own alignment. On top of it, her eyes were also black during that, so there might have been like an illusion trick sort of thing where she might have been tricked to injure people too. You don't really know because you didn't see through her eyes and you don't know much about it other than that. And if you want to do like an Arcana check for Lim, I can tell you what Lim's thing is.
Well, just because that symbol, the resident religion nerd, I'm like, well, yeah, but like, what this? 16.
So, I'm gonna say that the whole idea of like corruption is one you've heard of before. You're not super familiar with what corruption looks like from god to god. You do know that Lim really likes the Traveler and that they seem to be on good terms. And with the Traveler with the Traveler being a god that's known to have like a chaotic good sort of alignment, you know that, not saying that being corrupted is a good thing, but if Lim was corrupted by the Traveler, it would look a lot different than Hugs with the Raven Queen. That being said, with it only being on that one arm, you can probably assume that what happened is the Traveler did something to help both Lim, Hug, and like the rest of you resolve the issue with Hug. And what's on their arm right now is just something that needs to heal from having basically channeled part of the Traveler's like magical energy through a mortal body, which isn't really meant to handle it.
Oh, okay.
So not corrupted, just kind of like borrowed energies. Almost like if you amped up a device that wasn't meant to be amped up, like you're gonna fry something in there. It's like they're just a little fried and need to heal. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay. Cool. I was just like, hold on. Thinks it over.
You're like, please don't.
Okay, cool.
Alright, so let me see what else we have going on.
I'm still holding the flashlight, by the way.
Okay.
Despite the fact that we're done, I'm just trying to be the like, because I feel bad that friends got knocked out, and our immediate reaction was like, "Oh, we gotta fight to put him in the bathroom." So I'm just kind of like, just a little bit of residual guilt, I guess.
All right.
Actually, I do want to ask Ferenz a question first.
Yeah, go for it.
And then I'll. Hey, Ferenz. What you told Taylor about someone to talk to. I know that you're kind of okay with us coming to talk to you about stuff, but haven't really done that with you. Would it be okay if we like at some point, like, I have a thing that I gotta get off my chest, and you seem like, I don't know what's going on with your ex-wife, but like, if you need a distraction from your own problems, I've got problems, and is it okay if I unload them on you?
Have you ever been fishing in a canoe with a partner?
Well, I haven't had a partner, so no.
No, like not like a partner, like a friend, or like
Oh.
have you ever fishing in a canoe?
Well, I've never really been on the water, so no.
So when you go fishing in a canoe, you have to get the canoe can't stay in the water, right? It'll damage the wood if it stays in the water for too long, and there's always a good chance that the current will pull the canoe downstream, and then you've lost your canoe. You need the canoe to go fishing in. Now here's the thing. If you try to carry that canoe by just yourself, and you try to go fishing in that canoe just by yourself, then you're gonna struggle. You're probably gonna be able to do it. I believe in your ability to do that. But it's gonna be a lot harder. Now when two people are carrying the canoe, and two people go fishing in the canoe, that makes it a lot easier, a lot more manageable. Now what I'm saying here in total is, anytime you need help carrying your canoe, I am always here to help you. Whether that's the literal canoe or a figurative canoe, like your own burden. Alright? Because there's one thing that you should know. Because I know you've probably felt this way, because most y'all kids have felt this way. You are never a burden to me or anybody else in the group. Because burdens are things that you are forced to carry. And none of us are being forced to carry you. We are all here for you. So, anytime you want to talk, come find me, okay?
Okay. Finn has walled up at this point and takes his sleeve and just kind of wipes away the tears. He's like, okay. I mean, like, cool. That was really poetic. I just meant, like, could we just, like, I know you're gonna talk to Taylor, and that's really important. I was just thinking, with all the, like, family and parent stuff, I might have some. I got a big canoe, and I need your help carrying it. But we'll get to that later. Finn is just like, okay, we've brought up the thing, and now I want to desperately move on, but realizes there's nothing else for him to do, so he just goes, yeah, awkwardly puts the flashlight away and just kind of, looks a little, embarrassed. I think friends can probably tell that, like, Finn hasn't really had somebody that he can actually talk to before. So this is sort of new for him. He's clearly accepted it, but he's still kind of adjusting to, like, oh, yeah, I can actually talk to you about this stuff. It's not just like an empty promise. And Finn just kind of, I don't know, like, makes sure Lim isn't sitting weird so that when he wakes up, he's not, like, his neck doesn't hurt. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
Alright, anyone else have train-related things they want to do?
I did my train thing already.
Oh yeah, because yours was stealing the plate, like the made by Heavy Enterprises plate last time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I still kind of want my hot ginger ale.
Oh yeah, Hug. I'm gonna say Hug is tired, but she is walking now, and she does now finally get you your hot ginger ale. So now you have your hot ginger ale.
Fantastic.
All right. So with
This
that,
is awful.
yeah. So with that, Taylor does come into the car and kind of just stands. I'm gonna say they're gonna stand like just in front of the door here. So let me zoom out so I can move them. They're gonna stand just in front of the door of your car, and they go, "Alrighty, folks. So we've got a plan. We're gonna prioritize the goblin moms and their baby first. We've got some extra gear to help keep them warm, so we're gonna have them ride in on horseback to the nearest town, which is actually pretty close, but it is pretty cold, so we really want to have them go and get there quick as possible. I tried to message some more folks, see if we get more help. It looks like we're kind of running on who we have here, so we're gonna have to wait for those folks to come back before we can rotate through and get you folks to where you need to go. There is exactly 7 of us, so you will have to double up on a horse with somebody. It is pretty cold, so I mean, if you don't feel comfortable with that, you could always double up with each other. It doesn't have to be one of us, but it might help to be one of us because we have a lot of experience riding out in the snow and ice here. So we are just gonna take a few hours rest here. Out of character, that means short rest. And then we'll cycle through and get you where you need to go. Do any of y'all need anything? Not that I can give you much other than a promise to get you where you need to go.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And I would just like to say that while I do not regret damaging your gun, I also don't generally like harming other people's belongings. So and Basil just like slaps like 3 gold in their hand and just like turns around and walks away.
Aw.
They reply with thanks, and to be honest, I kind of deserved that. And then they also too leave the train car. So We're gonna fast forward a bit, so a bunch of them leave to help get the goblins to where they need to go. They come back. The goblin family had families slightly closer than where you wanted to go, which is why it was a short rest instead of a long rest. You folks will have a long rest halfway through your travels, because where you need to go is a bit further, because it's out in like the woods near the ice caves there. So let me pull up my sheet because I have a whole thing for this. So, like Taylor said, there is exactly 7 of them, and you can either choose to ride with one of them, or you can ask some of them to double up, and so you can double up with people that you know are more familiar with. So, I'm gonna copy and paste this so it's an in character for you, but I'm also gonna say it out loud for the podcast of your options of who you could double up with or who you could ask to switch out, so you can double up with people in the party. So there's Taylor, the half elf. You all know that they're like the leader of the group. There's Blizzard, the dark purple tiefling. She's got like long antelope-like horns that stick out of her hood. She's the co-leader. There's River, who uses he/him pronouns. He's a light blue tiefling. He's got like the typical like ram horns. There's Sydney, who's an Arctic Triton, so he's like silver like white bluish colored. There's Gale. She's like basically the real life equivalent of African American. She's got her hair tied into like afro puffs, and she's got these really cute red earmuffs on. There's Penelope. She's actually a centaur. So if you were comfortable with it, you could actually ride on her back. If not, Pocket usually rides on her back. And then there's Pocket, who does also have his own horse. So you could like borrow their horse, or you could ride on Penelope's back. So those are the 7 choices. I also posted it in character. So it's forever whoever you want to go with. You could also ask to double up with each other instead of going one of them.
I think Basil walks up to River and is like, "We're both tieflings named after nature-themed things," and just high fives him, and like is like, "Well, let's get on the horse."
And River just goes, "Yeah, we are, aren't we? You know, basil is my favorite herb. Does it feel weird to eat basil when your name's Basil?"
I actually don't like the taste of basil, so I typically avoid it.
Works out perfect then.
It would have been much better if my name had been like salt or bread, but I don't know. Do you like rivers?
Oddly enough, for the longest time, I did not know how to swim.
Huh. Are we friends now?
Well, I can never have too many friends, so I say yes.
Okay. Basil just like 1 tear as he makes a new friend.
+1 friend. There's a new person in your top 8 on MySpace.
Alright. So that leaves Taylor, Blizzard, Gale, Penelope, and Pocket left.
You said Penelope's okay with people riding on her?
Yeah.
Who aren't in the...
Yeah, she is. She's a really tall Clydesdale centaur. She's basically like the buffest person you've ever fucking seen in your life. Like, she could probably bench press friends if she wanted to.
Cool.
Whoa.
I am deeply intimidated by her in character, so I will not. Look, I'm a skinny little well, not little. I'm a skinny beanpole of an Aasimar with a Cade, and I'm just like, cool. Hey, Taylor! Do you mind if I...
Yeah, Taylor just goes, yeah, sure thing. Just apologies in advance for my steering. My hand's still a little sore, and they motion to the hand that, the whole gun thing happened.
Oh, could I... Do you mind if I try and... I have another use of healing light that I got from leveling up. Would you mind if... I can help you with that.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I don't want you to burn a spell slot or whatever it is you magic folk have to do, but...
No, it's okay. From Well, look, from my experience, I haven't been doing a whole lot of healing, but I'll try anyway. So I get better by trying. Hold on. Hey, 3! Better than last time!
Nice. I'm gonna say it's just enough with like their hands back to normal now and they go. Now that's a really handy spell. Too bad there wasn't one that could make it rain bacon, because I really like bacon.
I cast a minor illusion. Can minor illusion do smells, or is that prestidigitation? Hold on, let me check. Oh no, it has to be it. I create the sound of bacon sizzling. I can't do the smell. That's prestidigitation. I keep forgetting I'm not my bard. Anyway.
Taylor laughs and goes, "Not what I expected, but more than I can do, so that's cool."
It's a cantrip. Yeah.
Alright, so Finn's with Taylor. That leaves Blizzard, who is also a tiefling. So River and Blizzard are the only tieflings. So there's Blizzard, Sydney's the Arctic Triton, Gale's human, there's still the Centaur and the Goblin.
Callie will ride with Penelope.
Alright.
She's got Snickerdoodle hiding in her coat so that she stays warm.
Perfect. I'm gonna say that Blizzard offers to take Lim to make sure, like, since they're passed out, they've had to transport injured people before, like they've experienced, like they're gonna offer to take she's gonna offer to take Lim since he's passed out right now. So then for options left, you have Sydney, Gale, and Pocket.
I'm gonna ride with Pocket.
Alright. So that's Kokia. And then, so friends, you can ride either with a human or you can ride with the Arctic Triton.
I will look at the both of them and ask if either of them have a preference.
They kind of like, they're kind of surprised by that because like, it's, you know, it's a really polite thing to ask. And Sydney, the Arctic Triton, just goes, might actually be best for you to ride with Gale there. The whole Arctic Triton thing, my body heat situation's a bit different than yours. I'd hate to make you cold the whole ride there.
You should not have to worry about how your body makes other people feel.
Which I get, but I am pretty cold to touch and it is cold out.
That's all right. If I chose to ride with you, I wouldn't have that knowledge. So thank you so much for that. I'm gonna ride with your friend because it seems like that would make you more comfortable, or make you more comfortable. But I'd love to talk to you later if you would like to.
Yeah, that works for me.
Before we go, hold on, I need to do something. And friends like sprints ahead to the front of the group real quick and pulls out the camera and takes a picture of everybody on the horse.
Yeah.
Oh,
I do
so
the peace
cute.
sign.
Yeah,
Callie's rolling her eyes.
Taylor also does the peace sign because they feel like they got a match.
Aww.
I'm doing the basic bitch.
Good for you.
Steven is working like rapid fire to make sure everyone present gets their own copy of the picture. So like, as you're starting to ride, there's just like picture coming out as Steven's like, "Don't worry, everyone's gonna get a copy, even me. Well, I don't have pockets big enough for it, but I'm sure someone can hang on to mine."
Thank you, Stephen. You're doing.
Steven, you're the best.
Stephen, I feel like we should pay you for all this work. God, you're doing really good.
Steven just goes, "Thank you." Although to be honest, my payment is when you fight because, so I can't steal them anymore because it turns out Hug's not actually evil, but I was able to temporarily steal her pronouns, which was really fun for me.
Cool. You get paid in pronouns.
What does that look like?
So what it looks like is I glow brighter and I become stronger with the more pronouns that are now in my brain.
Awesome.
Do you like glow
That's
different
wonderful.
colors depending on what pronouns they are?
Yeah, I also change colors on my mood. You know, it's actually us fairies that invented glow rings. Mood rings, you know those? Yeah, we invented those.
Oh, that's so
Hell yeah.
cool.
Making a
God.
mental note to try to find a gumball machine that sells moon rings.
I was gonna say, Steven is still one of my favorite NPCs right now.
Oh my god.
So yeah, you start to ride, and let me switch over the map for you real quick. Alright. So I'm gonna say with your short rest, it is now like late afternoon, kind of early evening. There's like a soft glow. It's kind of like a snowy, slightly foggy atmosphere as you ride through this forest. Originally, they were gonna ride along the tracks, but noticing some of the bigger ice patches and things like that, Taylor, who's like leading your group there, kind of explains why they changed course a bit, and you do diverge from the tracks a bit, but they're still within sight as you go through this forest. You're kind of going at a trot right now, so like faster than a walk, slower than like a jog, and they're doing that because it did recently have a storm here, so there's lots of ice patches hidden by snow, and they don't want the horses to fall and that sort of thing. And for now, I will open it up to if you want to talk to your riding buddies.
So, what do you think of rats? Because, I forgot to mention, there's one, behind you.
Yeah, so River goes, oh yeah, no worries, I love rats. You know, growing up, I had a pet rat named Pumpkin, who originally I thought was a real rat, but then I realized that he was just one of those toy rats, you know, like the ones with all the gears and like like they do like the same motion over and over. I was kind
Oh
of
my gosh.
Yeah, I was kind of slow to notice that he was like a toy, not a real rat. So I would try to feed him, and then I would accidentally clog his gears up. And because my parents thought it was funny that I thought it was real, they'd wait till I go to bed, and then they would unclog his gears, and then I would just do it all over again. That poor toy rat got fed so many things and had to get fixed so many times. So the fact that yours is real is, it's nice. Younger me would have been jealous.
So, get this, okay? Get this. He's not a real rat. This is so wild. Are you me? Are we the same person? 'Cause well, he's, organic, but like, not technically, currently a rat, yes. Yes, but in the past, has he always, no. Not technically. This is so wild, River.
So is he like cursed or something?
I guess so. I guess. Yep, he's cursed. Currently, the biggest curse on him is, the fact that he has to wear a unicorn onesie, but, we're gonna get him some, like, actual real man clothes, but, like, size them down for rats at some point. Yeah, that's on my agenda.
You should get him a suit, make him look like a little businessman, because businessmen look very official, and with the right acting, you could get out of just about any situation. I had a cousin who was actually trying to go into acting. Turns out the only thing he's good at pretending to be is a businessman. Well, he ended up getting a suit and pretending to be a businessman, and he faked his way into becoming a CEO when he knows nothing about business, which at first was bad, but then he learned, and now the company's actually doing great.
Oh my gosh. That was a wild ride. Theodore, do you want to be a little businessman?
As you ask that, Theodore, who just woke up from a nap, sneezes, rolls back over, and starts to fall asleep again.
I think that was a yes. I think that was a yes. Oh my gosh, River. He's gonna be a little businessman.
Telling you, capitalism is one hell of a superpower.
Sorry, that was an OOC laugh. Okay, yeah. Agreed.
Anyone else talking to their riding buddy?
Yeah, I want to talk to Pocket.
Alright, Fluxy, you were riding with... Cookie was riding with Pocket, the little goblin that was terrified of friends earlier.
Pocket, where are you from?
Pocket just goes, well, do you want the long answer or the short answer?
How long is the long answer?
Well, let's say we do have to stop about halfway so we don't ride through the night, because it's not really safe to ride through the night with all the ice and stuff. But my story could probably get right up to our break there, so if you're willing to have me talk for the whole first half of the ride, I could tell you then.
Let's do the short answer.
Okay, so the short answer is, I was technically born in the Shadowfell, but then I was adopted from folks from Alphos, so technically I'm from the Shadowfell, but I was mostly raised in Alphos, so I'm mostly from Alphos, I guess. It gets kind of complicated.
Oh, I understand. I'm from somewhere else too.
Oh, really? Where are you from?
The Feywild.
Ooh, I heard not to do a pun, but I heard it's pretty wild in the Feywild.
Good one.
Say, does the Feywild have Feywild have those blink dogs? The ones that move super fast and everything? Because the Shadowfell has a lot of those, and they used to steal my lunch when I walked to school, and I used to get mad, but they're so cute where I couldn't stay mad for long.
I can't really remember running into them, actually, to be honest. I mostly just hung out with my babysitter? The person I was living with.
That sounds nice. Small family of sorts, I take it?
Just some guy I lived with. And his little dragon friend.
Oh, that's cool. I know a dragon too. He's pretty old.
You know
though.
a dragon?
Yeah, he's pretty old. He doesn't really leave the Shadowfell though. I think technically he's my he's like my adopted mom's cousin twice removed or something. My mom's a dragonborn, so it tracks somehow. I'm not good with family trees, but yeah.
Awesome. That sounds cool.
It is.
What's his name?
His name his name, he hates it. Is pretty short. It's kind of dorky and cliche. He's a black dragon that lives in the Shadowfell, and his name's literally Shadow. He just has me call him Uncle Shasha, to be honest.
Nice.
Yeah, one time for my birthday, he breathed fire and cooked 20 s'mores at once, and it was really fun.
I really want some s'mores now.
Well, I always pack them because they're a great snack food, so maybe once we stop for our break, we can eat some.
Awesome.
Alright, next person who wants to talk to their riding buddy?
I'd like to talk to Taylor.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, you know what I'm asking them. I'm asking them if they worship any gods.
Well, I think the obvious one is the one that your friend currently has a symbol of on their arm. There's also a lot of smaller ones that I worship. Like there's they don't always have names. Some of the ones that I like, they just kind of are there, and you can feel them when they're there. Like there's a god that's literally just the god of grass, which I know seems silly, but they tend to have a really calming presence. So if you're suddenly really calm and you're in a grassy area, they're actually probably there with you because I've met them before. I worship a lot of the smaller ones. Some of them are small in other words. Others, obviously, the Traveler, is pretty big. Although their current situation has made their status complicated. It is pretty frustrating too because we all want to help them, but they haven't really explained to us why they're in the position they are. They just keep telling us that they got into this mess and that they're gonna fix it, but the last time anyone heard from them, they sounded like they were really sick. Like, we're actually kind of focusing on them a lot recently because they have not been doing good at all.
Oh no. Oh, I was gonna say about you called them kind of smaller gods. There's no such thing as a smaller god. I mean, some gods have more power, but at the end of the day, they matter to you. So I don't think they're that small at all.
Yeah, and it can get tricky with there's a lot of magic in the world. Like I'm not a magic user, but I've had friends who've met all sorts of beings that there's a lot of crossover between gods and warlock patrons and gods and just forces that are trying to make the world a better place. I think all of us actually have a lot more in common than we think, whether it's gods and mortals or just between mortals.
Finn's hand absent-mindedly traces over their bag, and they just kind of go. Oh, sorry, he just kind of goes. Yeah, my patron. I just asked him point blank, like, "Are you God?" And then he went to sleep. So, yeah, I think my patron is being as stubborn as Lim's friend.
Asking something if they're a god usually isn't as easy as doing it, as much as it would be convenient if asking it was. As it is, a lot of the ones that are really bad off forget that they were a god in the first place too. You're actually better off checking the Remembrance Guild archives or meeting with one of the gods that we're working with right now. Like, if you were to meet like the Traveler or something, they might be able to tell you if Nick was one or not.
I don't. Wait. Wait. I didn't tell Taylor my patron's name.
You didn't.
Now hold on a dim. Pulls out a gun. Wait, hold on. Hold the pulls the reins. No, I'm not gonna do that. I think I'll just ask them straight up, like, how the fuck? What? Hello? Is it that obvious?
Less obvious, more so the fact that my mom's patron used to be Nick, actually.
Wait, what the what?
Yeah, like we've met. I've met him plenty of times. He was even at my I remember him coming to my 5th birthday party and giving me a birthday present.
He told me no one had talked to him in like 100 years. How old are you? Sorry, I'm sorry, that's a personal question, but like, actually, this is for research. How old are you?
Definitely not that old, so
Okay.
don't know why he told you that, unless he's got some memory confusion there.
I might. Well, he has a sort of predicament, which is partly why I'm seeking to join the guild.
Oh, okay.
Well, I hope he wasn't lying to me.
Okay, so predicament, because I'm sensing he's close to us. So he's not just following us, he's like with you somehow?
I mean, I'm a warlock, so to some degree, yeah. His power, well, I mean, I had to like trade my soul and everything, but yeah. Kind of.
So
I'm gonna be honest. I get that this is like what y'all do if Nick does in fact turn out to be like maybe a forgotten god, but like I'm not in the guild yet, and also I don't know you, so if you want to help with that, maybe a little later down the line.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I'm just like really curious now because I remember seeing Nick and he wasn't really something you could just carry around, so now I'm really curious about how exactly you two are connected, unless he's decided to change forms for some reason. I'm just confused and
What?
curious.
What did he look like when you knew them?
So honestly, Nick, back when they were my mom's patron, um, they could actually shapeshift in a bunch of different forms. They usually just tended to walk around as my mom because they thought it was funny to confuse me and Henry.
Oh.
But just randomly show up as our mom. It was never really out of malice. They would just do it, and then they have like a little gotcha moment, and then be like, okay, no, your mom's actually over there.
So they were a changeling.
Yeah.
Or shapeshifter, I mean. Shape changer, excuse me.
Yeah, they were able to change shapes. They never really told us what they actually were because they never really showed their true forms to us, but they could just turn about any time. I remember one time I like begged and begged and begged for Nick to go to school for me so I didn't have to go. And they didn't do it for the whole day, but they did it long enough where I could sleep in, and then I just went to school for like the afternoon. It was awesome.
Were they a... Well, okay. If they were your mom's patron, were they a god, or were they just like a very strong being? Do you know?
No, I remember asking both my mom and Nick multiple times, and my mom said, unless you plan on becoming a warlock, it's none of your business. And Nick said, one of your family is enough for me, no offense. I'm not telling you anything. And then no magic for me, I guess.
Oh, well, that's... Hey, if you wanted to do a little warlock thing, I could ask Nick if they're taking on new... Well, actually, okay, I can tell you this. They are currently trapped somewhere. And I'm seeking leads to get them not trapped anymore. And I'm helping them on our contract is basically like, Nick gives me powers, I help try to get them out of their thing.
You know, that's actually pretty concerning to hear because from what little I know about them and from what little my mom was willing to tell me, there's not a lot of beings that are strong enough to trap them.
Yeah, I get the sense this is... Well, I'm not going to say their names, but I do have a hunch as to who might have done that.
Well, if your hunch is anything related to what happened to the train attendant there, I think you and I might be sharing the same hunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I minor vulnerability moment here. I might have used to worship one of the big three, and I don't anymore, and I'm a little worried that that's going to come bite me in the ass.
Ooh, yeah.
So I am doing my very best to be as... What's the word? Oh, fuck, what's the word? It's like when you're, like, bowing down to somebody. Genuflecting. That's not the word. But... What? God, what's the word? I don't know the word.
I can...
Not worship. It's like that. It's on that track. Respectful.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean.
Yeah. Brain completely gave up there.
Yeah, so... As you know, I mean, there's more than just the three for old gods, but the three that we're both thinking of are the ones that are related and connected to you-know-who with the feathers. I find that it's best not to even mention their names because they've got eyes and ears everywhere, and they tend to take their name as an invitation to come interact with you. So I think if you just avoid saying their names, that will help a lot right there.
That is exactly what I was doing.
It's kind of why a lot of us refer to the queen there. That's why a lot of us just refer to her as her and like kind of emphasize the her because she's like the scary one out of three. Yeah.
Plot development happening. Okay. Well, I take it you don't worship any of the old gods then.
Oh, no.
I busted... Finn kind of as their writing shows, tailor a little like notebook that they have of like just not with names or anything. It's all anonymous. Just like a name of a god, and then like notes on like how they like very vague notes on like how this person worships this god, like how like not how intensely. What's the word? Like how devoutly, I guess.
Yeah.
And then like how they feel about their god, and like kind of little notes about that. And there's about half of the gods, of the mentioned gods. Well, I mean the gods that we know about, including you know who.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what god you should add on there, and this is actually even amongst the guild, we're not sure they exist or not, but there's one that would be really cool to talk to, if they did exist, is we believe there's actually an additional type of god called hibernating god, that these are ones that either by choice or by force were not killed but made dormant and are actually sleeping like beneath the earth's surface right now.
Is it one god or is it like a couple of gods?
We're not sure. It's just a rumor that some of the demigods that we're trying to help survive have kind of shared with us. They themselves aren't sure. The traveler's pretty sure that they exist, and I think that's what they're mainly looking for right now. Then again, the traveler doesn't exactly tell me their agenda, but last I heard, they were looking for a hibernating god for some reason.
Do you think they would be able to help me with Nick?
I think in their current condition, it would be really a hit or miss. But I think I think if you all were to join the guild and join the pool of people that not necessarily worship but are willing to think about them and keep their memory alive that way, they might be a little bit stronger, become just a bit more healthy to be able to help you with that.
Okay, that makes sense. I was just asking. I just wanted to make sure. Most of the leads that I've gotten have been kind of dead ends, so this is actually pretty promising, and I don't want to get too hopeful, so I just wanted to make sure. Thank you, by the way.
Yeah.
I know that like I'm not technically in the guild yet, so I feel like you're giving me a lot of sensitive information, but you can trust me with this. My lips are sealed.
Well, listen, you learn a lot about people when you rob the train they're on and they start to fight you and then change their mind halfway through. So if there's anyone
That's fair.
if there's anyone be willing to tell this info, it'd be your group.
That's fair.
Just if anyone asks, I didn't say anything.
Although, well, yeah, I know. I'm just, well, I'm also worried. Well, I'm also just worried because, like, I know you mentioned you worshipped Lim's friend. There's been a lot of people, like, going missing, so I'm sure you already know this, but be careful.
Yeah, well, that's why we're trying to keep it on the down low, and that's why my job is to keep attention off of other places and situations. So you'll probably see me in the news a lot, but it's for the best that the news is talking about me and not guild stuff. So
makes sense. Yeah, well, thank you. And sorry that was kind of out of nowhere. I just like to hear people talk about like, I feel like faith is a very, well, it's a personal thing, but I think it says a lot about who people are, like in terms of how they worship and yeah. Anyway, thank you.
Yeah, and one last one you might want to consider looking up is there was a demigod I met recently. I want to say her name was like Rixie or something. She told me that there was a new god just made recently. You know how like the young gods are like the newer ones? She said that there was a god of warlocks just made recently. I think his name's like Dazar or something. I don't know much about them or how you get into contact with them, but you could also ask them about Nick.
Hold on. What was the name?
It's Dazar. They use they he pronouns. It's the young god of warlocks. He's a young god and like literally like just got made like last week.
I flipped back in my notes. Actually, Dazar is one of the gods that I had checked off. Man, it must have been new because this was actually kind of like last week. It flips back to the notes on Dazar. It's like, Yeah, I don't know. I kind of don't feel like it. Don't let friends hear me say this, but sometimes I feel like I'm not a very good warlock. Like I feel like I'm not doing enough. So like I don't know. I feel like the God of Rocks is gonna be like, "You fucked up," and I'm gonna be like, "Cool, thanks. I already feel bad."
It's
So
definitely worth.
I'll
Yeah,
consider it.
definitely
But thank
worth
you.
trying to contact them somehow. Don't ask me how, because I don't know. But
I'll find a way.
you're a warlock. I'm sure
Nick
there's
might
a
know
way.
them. Yeah. I'll ask Nick and be like, "Hey, I don't know if Dazar's their boss or anything, but you know, yeah, thank you."
All right. I just realized it is in fact 11:03, so we're gonna take our 5-minute break and come back at 11:08. So I am gonna throw up the "be right back" screen while we all take our break. Just so you know, I am gonna leave the stream running. So if you do talk on Discord, the stream will hear you talk during breaks. So let me just throw that up, and I'll be right back.
Oh no, they can hear me.
Unless I ran through that part of my inheritance while I was still a baby, I have not come into it yet, but I do not at all complain of having been kept out of this property, and if anyone should be in the present enjoyment of it, he is heartily welcome to keep it. I was born with a call, which was advertised for sale in the newspapers at the low price of 15 guineas. Whether seagoing people were short of money about that time, or were short of faith and preferred cork jackets, I don't know all. I don't know. All I know is that there was but one solitary bidding, and that was from an attorney connecting with bill broking business, who offered £2 in cash, balance, and a sherry. I declined to be guaranteed from drowning on any higher bargain.
I've never walked into a room so confused in my entire life.
I'm so glad it wasn't just me, because I just came back with a banana.
I know, I just came back from the bathroom and I'm like, what is happening?
I will give 5 English teacher points to anybody on the cast that can guess what I was reading.
You said pounds.
I did.
Oh well, that takes out Great Gatsby then.
It is not Gatsby.
Yeah, no. English Gatsby. Wait, I just got back, so I only heard the pounds thing. Were there any other hints?
The starting line of the chapter I'll read again. It's, chapter 1. I am born. Whether I shall turn out to be the hero of my own life, or whether that station will be held by anybody else, these pages must show.
Oh, this sounds really familiar,
Oh,
but
yeah,
it's
that sounds
not.
familiar.
My brain isn't.
Already.
Is it Sherlock Holmes?
It's not Sherlock Holmes, but you are getting closer.
Good try.
Nancy Drew.
His
See,
that is
true.
further away.
David Copperfield.
It is David Copperfield.
Oh shit! I was like, that sounds Dickensian, but I
Yeah.
couldn't remember the book. I was gonna guess Great Expectations. Cool.
It is one of my favorite book openings.
Oh,
I'm gonna admit I've only read the first chapter.
Same.
That's all you.
But don't
That's
tell
all
my
you
kids.
needed. That's all you needed to be able to get 5 English teacher points. So you're good.
Chat said, "Isn't that the first draft of WAP?"
My favorite opening line of a book is from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Far out in the uncharted backwaters of the unfashionable end of the western spiral arm of the galaxy lies a small, unregarded yellow sun. Just immediately like, no one is shit, no one fucking matters. just roasting everything. And then the whole bit about digital watches. It's wonderfully dated, but I think that kind of adds to the hilarity. They still think digital watches are a good idea. So funny. And the whole description of Arthur Dent figuring out there's a bulldozer on his lawn. It's like the perfect like show don't tell scene, in my opinion. And it's also fun. Anyway. Fucking sci-fi nerd over here.
Alright, anyway, now I can get the correct scene back up. Ta-da! We are back. So, was anyone else talking to their writing buddy?
I mean, Callie's just gonna like. So I'm assuming here is the fun part. Does Penelope have like a saddle or anything like that that Callie can hold on to while we are moving at more of a brisk pace?
Yeah, so obviously since she's a centaur, there's no like reins or anything because she can walk.
Right.
So there is like a saddle though that like for her it's mostly to like have something to attach her bags to, but since it's also a saddle, you can sit in it. So you just kind of it's like I'm gonna say it's like a western saddle, so you can like hang on to like the horn part, or just
Okay,
or
cool.
the front edge, whatever part you want to hang on to.
Yeah, that. As long as there's something to hold on to, because that's what I was confused about. Because I have in real life rode horses and know it's very hard to stay on a horse that's moving at a brisker pace with no saddle or reins, or they're like obviously I don't want to like pull her mane or nothing, you know. So it's like
Yeah. Yeah, you know, it's like, well, it's one of those things where, like, if you, like, knew each other better, like, if you were, like, a friend or something, you could just, like, hold on to her waist, but it's like you just met, so, like, the saddle's probably the better option.
Right, that's what I was like. I really hope there's a saddle. Okay, so yeah, that's so. If there's a saddle, then I wouldn't say anything. I would just ride silently.
Okay. Was that everyone who wanted to talk to their riding buddy?
I think I just want to make like more like general conversation. Like there's not anything like directly that I
Yeah,
want to
go
know.
ahead.
But just like checking in with both the person I'm writing with and the Triton. Um just like seeing how they are doing.
Yeah, so the Arctic Triton that you met, his name is Sydney. He's like, I mean, so Taylor and Blizzard are like co-leaders. There's no official third leader, but if there was, it'd probably be him. He's been kind of like speeding up and slowing down, just kind of checking in with everyone too to make sure everything's good. He has checked in with Blizzard multiple times to make sure she's doing okay, having Lim ride with her because she's having to hold Lim up because they're still knocked out. um, and they do feel cold to touch to other people, but because they're an Arctic Triton, they themselves don't get that cold. So like they aren't as wearing as many layers as you, so like any extra layers that they don't really need, they're like giving it to people that look like they're cold, and that sort of thing. Like since they're an Arctic Triton, it takes a lot for them to get cold. So like they've kind of gotten away with like more of like a fall jacket right now, although they do have like winter stuff in case the weather was to get worse, or whatever. And let me look at who you were riding with again, because I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, because you were riding with Gale, and so Sydney notices that she seems a bit cold, so like he takes his scarf off and hands it to her, and then he sees you and he goes, hopefully you're good, because that was my last scarf. I'd say share, but it's not quite long enough for that, I don't think.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine.
So if it helps any, I'm gonna say that most of the people in this little ragtag group of theirs are probably around Finn's age. Sydney's definitely closer to Friends' age, although I'd say that he's if you were to guesstimate it, he's probably more like 30 something than 40 something. Penelope seems a bit. Penelope's probably the oldest. She's probably a little bit older than you, Friends. The rest of them are definitely younger than you.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna say with that, you do have to do your halfway break to where you need to go. So I'm gonna say that Taylor's group of thieves here have clearly lived in this area and done their job here for a long time, so they set up pretty quickly. They've got tents specially made for winter to keep you warm. They do pack a lot of tents, and the tents, there's enough where like you could share it with a couple of people, and they're gonna leave it up to you about who you want to share with. But they are doing calls for like watch shifts right now, so I don't think I'm gonna make everyone do a watch shift. But if a couple of people wanted to do one, they are looking for people to do like do watch.
I'll do one.
I'll do one.
I'll do the first one.
Alright.
Taylor.
Alright, so I think Caleb, which NPCs was it that you wanted to talk to again?
I invited Taylor, but they are under no obligation to come.
Okay. Well, because I think Stormy, Finn also wanted to talk to Taylor, right? Or is it someone else?
I wanted to talk with friends, but that's when we're not like super busy.
Okay.
There's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah.
It's a very packed canoe.
I'm gonna have it where I think for the first watch I'm gonna have friends Finn and Taylor all be in the first one.
Alright.
So I'm gonna have you all just roll. I need to open to the right character first, but I'm gonna have you, Friends, and Taylor all do a quick just like a perception check, but then you can talk a little bit, and I'll just tell you afterward what happens.
Cool. I'm gonna use my roll with advantage on perception because I have a +0 to this. I just want to make sure. Oh, well, let's see if I crit. No, but Right, 18 for Finn.
All right. I can tell you, I forgot to put the Beyond 20 extension in, but Taylor got a 13. Let's see if Friends can beat a 13.
You can do it, Friends. I believe in you. Yeah!
Oh, nice.
This is the second time you and I have gotten the exact same number, Caleb. Last time we both got 16, and now we both have 18. What is going on? We're just like vibing tonight or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So was there questions you wanted to ask each other or something specific you wanted to talk about?
I think.
Oh, go ahead.
Like before I get to Finn, I want to um, spend some time with Taylor, kind of unpacking, like just letting them like talk out some of their problems.
Okay, yeah. Um, so you just have Taylor's gonna just like vent to you is what I'm picking up.
Yeah.
Okay. So, well, I think both Taylor and you and I think all three of you get along pretty well. So I guess you just kind of like all sitting close-ish and just chatting and well, the conversation is definitely more so directed toward friends than Finn. I think they're okay with Finn hearing because they kind of feel like you all deserve to hear because of considering what happened with the train and everything. Um, so they go.
Can Finn? Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say Finn may want to talk to Nick real quick while this is going on, but not right now.
Yeah, we can do it. We can do that.
Yeah.
So Taylor goes, okay, so haven't told this story for a while, especially since the last time not even the newspaper would be willing to run it, because God forbid they lose their funding from Haven Enterprises, but basically the story goes, roughly 5 years ago, both of my parents were engineers for Haven Enterprises. And they had this big important meeting in Oshel, and there was a new prototype train they were supposed to show off at that meeting. I remember talking to my parents, and that train, even though it had been through some testing, it should have gone through more. But at that time, Haven Enterprises was actually behind on production, and basically they were forced to take the train there because it was the only available transportation. They got about halfway there when the whole exploding train thing happened. I heard about what happened because well, it's gonna sound weird, but because I guess the traveler saw it happen and was there for some reason. And they got hurt too, which is pretty freaky because you don't really think of gods, or I guess since they're a demigod now, you don't really think of them getting hurt, but they got hurt too. And the funny thing is, they thought I was going to be mad at them, but I wasn't really mad at them because it wasn't their fault that it happened. The reason why it happened is because Haven Enterprises really treats all their workers like shit, and if they had just treated everyone better and had more staff and then had more trains being safely made, then my parents wouldn't have had to ride an unsafe train. And while I definitely don't think the train whole thing happened because of an accident, I do think whatever happened on that train was used to cover up something. And all I know is that new expo they're planning on having at Haven Enterprises later this year, I have a feeling it's not going to be good news. So, I definitely would advise you to avoid writing Haven Enterprises stuff, because whether it's faulty production or cover-ups, they clearly don't care about who or what they destroy in the process, and they hurt a lot of people with that. What happened to my parents? Not just me. There were so many people on that train.
Alright. So I have a question for you real quick though. How is your whole thing is you've been attacking trains, right? So how is that burden the company?
Well, so Haven Enterprise is supposed to be this really successful, company that has great trains, great security, that sort of thing. Well, what we
Mm-hmm.
do is not only do we make their security look like shit, we hurt the revenue we're coming in because, between getting paid to make the trains and getting a cut of the money when a train's actually used, they're constantly getting money from the trains. You know, so my whole thing has been well, we're gonna make him look bad and we're gonna make him hurt, and because it's clear that they only care about money. So losing a whole train,
Mhm.
that's a lot of money.
So, something I would caution you over, and I'm sure that you probably, as a group, thought. Remember, when you do things like you take out transportation, not really hurting the company, right? Because they're sure they're losing trains for the day, but there's not another train company. You know, they're not gonna just people aren't gonna switch over from Haven to other train companies. What you're doing is you're hurting the lives of everyday people that are just trying to get to and from places, and you're hurting the life of the very workers that you're trying to protest the treatment of, because they're just going to have to build back newer trains even quicker than before, and they're going to have to come out to these not friendly places where you've destroyed the track to fix it. You know, it's not the management or anybody you're mad at that you're actually affecting.
I know, I've definitely let my anger get the better of me with that.
Anger is powerful, but think what you should do. And again, I'm overstepping. It's okay to tell me. Think that what you might be wise to do is talk to other people about your feelings for a little bit. And that way, and talk through your plans with them a little bit more. I get it. You want to make people hurt. And maybe there are some people that deserve to hurt. There are some powerful people that deserve to be held accountable. Not just for your pains, but for the other pains they have caused too. But we got to ask ourselves when we do forms of protest, are we doing things that'll hold people accountable? Are we doing things for the better of the society? Or we're doing things to make us feel better? Sometimes doing things to make us feel better is warranted. But we got to be careful that we're not hurting others in the process.
Yeah, you're right. I think I've been in denial about it for a while. It's just so mad, and not many people outside of my friends here even believed what happened. Like they've already in Haven Enterprises' eyes, it's already been done and covered up. There's nothing to talk about. But for me, and for Henry, and for everyone else, there's always going to be something to talk about.
I believe in you. You're doing a good job. I think you need to redirect your focus a little bit. But I think you're going to make it.
And Taylor just says, "Thanks, Mr. Ferenz," and kind of like sniffles and like not so subtly wipes their eyes. And then you hear back from camp someone ask Taylor like, "Hey, what bag did we put the rations in again?" And Taylor just tries to like answer without getting up, but then they're like, "What bag? I don't know what bag you're talking about." And they just sigh and they go, "Excuse me," and they get up and leave to help whoever it was that asked about it find the ration bag. And it's safe to say that when it comes to watch, they saw nothing because before they left, they were too busy trying not to cry. So,
Aww.
so then, Stormy, was it you gonna have Finn and friends talk or Finn and Nick?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask Nick, like, what are you lying to me? Did you forget? What happened? Hello?
Okay, yeah. So, you have
I sort of while Taylor is unloading the stuff, and I'm like kind of half listening, but I close my eyes and I just kind of ask Nick, like, Hey! So, I've had some information that you had a warlock before me. I'm not upset about that. What I'm worried about is that it sounds a lot more recent than when you got put in that attic. You gotta be honest with me. Because if not, I don't know, I don't want to threaten you. I'm not gonna threaten you. Just be honest, is that true?
Nick, who has definitely been there the whole time, kind of like hums and goes, you just because I'm not the god of time doesn't mean I know time. I think no, I don't think. I know what I told you is correct. Taylor's just confused.
Can I insight check them
Yeah,
real
you
quick?
can insight check that.
I want to see if this is genuine confusion or if they're just trying to be like, no, everything's fine, because they do that sometimes. Ooh, 9. Uh-oh.
Well, luckily for you, a 9's still high enough where you can tell that Nick is still Nick is insisting that Taylor's confused, but they don't sound quite so sure of that statement themselves. Like, they sound like they're probably lying.
Okay.
Slash are also confused themselves, so like a mix of both. So basically, you got no answer.
Okay. I just kind of go, okay. Well, I'm trusting you. I believe you. Please don't fuck me over. And then I open my eyes and end the conversation.
Alright.
Unless he wants to sass me back, which, he can.
Yeah, I think, Nick goes, yeah, it's good you trust me because you wouldn't have powers otherwise, and then you leave.
He's right, and I'm not happy about it. Yeah, I think I opened my eyes as soon as, kind of as Taylor's leaving, and I'm just like, oh, sorry, did I miss anything? Sorry, I had to ask Nick a question real quick. Talking to friends. Hello?
I think, oh. Oh, there we go.
Hello?
Yeah,
Hey.
Finn was
Who's
asking
Nick?
you if they missed anything.
Yeah, no, you didn't really miss anything, but you said you were talking to Nick. I don't. Have you ever mentioned to Nick? I don't think I know who that is.
Oh, no, that's my patron. I think I've mentioned him before, actually.
Oh,
Very vaguely, but I have, well, yeah, Nick's the person I'm trying to help. Well, being. Yeah.
well, that sounds important to your life, kiddo. I'm sorry I forgot about that, but thank you for reminding me.
Well, that's okay. Look, you have a lot of, surrogate kids, so it's okay.
That doesn't mean that what you tell me isn't important.
No, I believe you. Hey, I forget stuff all the time. You don't have to apologize to me. It's okay. Sometimes you miss stuff, and I'm okay with reminding you, is the thing. Because,
Yeah.
well, now that Taylor is sort of doing their own thing, I don't know if I'm ready to talk about it quite yet, because, at least everything, because it's again, very packed kayak, a lot of baggage, but the the reason I even like struck up a conversation, well, not struck up a conversation, but took this deal with my patron in the first place. Well, I thought that if I took initiative and did something with what turned out to be probably a celestial being, that my parents would be proud of me. And what I got instead was, you became a warlock and not a cleric. You fucked up. So they didn't kick me out, but I basically got the sense that if I were to stay any longer, they would make my life pretty shitty. So I took Nick and like went to a different part of Oshel and found a job with a wonderful bunch of people who are okay with me dipping out of work sometimes. My landlord, not so much, but hopefully this adventuring thing's gonna work out, and I'm hoping my parents are like, well, I want to be strong enough that my parents are like, not that they change their mind, but they're like, because I don't know if they will, but like, I just want them to be like proud of me. You know what I mean? And I know you're proud of me, but these are like my parents' parents. And, you know, I feel like I disappoint them a lot. I've disappointed them so much, and I want to do like the right thing or something good and like impress them and make them see that they can be proud of me. I don't know if this is the right thing, but
But are you proud of you?
Look, man, I'm 20 years old. I don't even know who I am as a person.
Oh, I remember the time. But here's what I'm going to say. This is one of the biggest lessons that I wish I was taught. You can spend a lot of time worrying and concentrating on the ways that people think you messed up, right? And you can do a lot of good to fix that, right? And you can devote your whole life to doing different things. Being good, to doing all these things, right? There's many different ways to be good. You could run for political office, join our little adventuring party. There's so many things you could do, right? Here's the question. Are you happy? And are you proud? Because if you're not drawing that happiness and that pride from inside of yourself, your well is going to run dry. You know? You can't just keep asking people for that. Because you might reach a day where there's nobody around that can give it to you. You might reach a day where you're all alone. Those days are always the hardest. But what I want you to be able to do is have that opportunity that I did. And when that day comes where you have to spend that day alone, you're able to draw on a source of happiness and pride, and the strongest one from inside of you.
Maybe I should get into a little bit more. My parents are very into one of the older gods. So much so that they have their own church. Although now that I've been away for a bit, now I'm starting to think they may be a cult.
Hey, are they one of them D's?
So
We call them list or what fundies?
I don't. You cut out for part of that. I'm not sure what you said.
That's all right.
They're. I can't say their name because I'm a little worried about the god themselves coming down and being like, I heard you were talking shit, and I would rather not do that to me or to you. Because we still got stuff to do. But, I have been sheltered for a lot of my life. And so, basically, when I joined this adventuring group was when I finally started to figure myself out. And I've only been figuring myself out for like almost half a year. So I don't know if I can be proud of myself yet. I don't know how to be. I don't know. I feel like, well, I don't know. Maybe it's just because you're older and you've gone through more shit, but like, you have all these like, you know what to say, and you like have all these like skills, not just in terms of like handyman skills, but like, you know, emotional skills. And I just feel like I don't know how to do that, and like I want to, but I just feel like behind all of my peers because like I just didn't like. And Finn is starting to get a little verklempt at this point, and he just goes, I feel like an idiot sometimes because like I don't know. I feel like I don't know if I can be proud of myself because every time I do something wrong, I can just hear my parents in the back of my head. And I hear what you're saying, and I want to believe you, and I want to do what you're suggesting. I really want to, but
Well, here I have a question for you, right?
yeah.
When you hear that voice inside of your head when you do something wrong, right? Why is that voice a reflection on you? Why isn't that voice a reflection on your parents?
Because they were there for so long that I didn't really get to. I Finn kind of thinks it over and tries to figure it out, and he realizes and says this as he's realizing it. I don't have an inner voice that isn't my parents. I'm still learning how to think for my. The only reason I figured out how to think for myself is because I ran into Nick and they were like, "Hey, can you help me?" And I finally had something to do that like wasn't my parents anymore. But now I'm starting to think that that may have also been the wrong choice. And I know what you said to Taylor about like even if it's the wrong choice, he still made a choice, and like that is fine. I don't know. I feel like I'm just really glad that I'm with all of you because I think now that I'm like away from them, maybe I can start to heal. But I'm more well, like you said, narratively, we might run into your ex-wife. I'm worried we might run into my parents or current acolytes of their quote unquote church.
And if we do, you're under no obligation to talk to them again. If we do, you're under no obligation to look at them. And what's really important, probably haven't fully recognized yet that they've hurt you. And that's okay. But when you do, and we run into them a couple months down the road, if we do, you are never under an obligation to forgive them. Alright? I think that one of the biggest things, you wanted to start looking inward and asking yourself those big questions. You know, I think one of the biggest questions is, who am I and what do I want? And I think that you're struggling to see that person inside. You told me you don't think you have a voice in your head. I think you do. think that voice is very kind, very intelligent, cares about people, but always curious, wanting to learn more about different gods and different perspectives. Loves listening to people and is a damn good listener. Makes people feel like they're being listened to. Makes people feel accepted. And I know that voice is somewhere in your head because that's you. You are a person of worth and value. You are somebody that loves and is loved. And I am so proud of you every day.
Finn's fully crying. just tears. He I don't think he wipes them away. I think he just embraces them because Friends is very accepting. Finn is just like, just whips a handkerchief out of his pocket, just kind of gets a little bit out of the way so he can see Friends, and he just goes, I wish I could hear me, but I feel like I get drowned out by my parents. I want to see me as you see me. How the hell do you see me? Well, I guess because you're not me, but you see the good in people, and you see the good in me, and I feel like sometimes I can't see the good in myself. How do you see the good in yourself?
Well, I used to own a barn, right?
Wait, really? I didn't know that. That's cool.
And I had a mirror in this barn. Right? It was on the side, and this mirror sat against the barn wall for a few years. And dust and hay and dirt and mud and even a little bit of cow shit in some places had gathered up on the mirror, right?
And when Finn laughs a little bit through the tears, still crying though.
And when you look through a mirror like that, right, it's hard to see the beautiful things, right? Like I could have the most beautiful floral bouquet, whatever they're called, like in front of that mirror. But if I'm looking through that mirror trying to see that bouquet, I'm not going to see how beautiful they are, right? So here's the thing. Me, all your friends on this team, everyone else you come to meet don't have to look at you through the mirror. They can look at you straight on. And I think that your mirror has been neglected for a little bit of time. I don't think that your parents put in a healthy amount of treating you how to take care of your mirror. And I think that you've been putting it off for a little while too. I think some of that has probably been fear. Some of that has been you believing what you see in the mirror. Believing that there couldn't be anything beautiful or intelligent or creative in that mirror. Because that's what you see currently. So I think what you need to do is start cleaning that mirror. Now, it's not going to be easy. Took me a whole year to clean that mirror correctly. And it's going to take you some time too to clean your mirror. But remember, you don't have to carry the canoe by yourself. You can talk to people, you can talk to me. And I'm here to remind you there are beautiful things on the other side of that mirror. I can't clean it for you. I can remind you what's there on the other side.
Is it wrong for me to want my parents to be proud of me?
No, it's not wrong. That's a basic instinct. I want my parents to be proud of me and they're dead. You know?
I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are. And if they're not, then I don't know. We'll find a cleric to resurrect him so I can tell them off. Maybe cast an Eldritch Blast on them.
But here's the thing. If they aren't proud of me, right? That doesn't reflect on me as a person. That reflects on them. Because I am somebody that is worthy of pride. I am somebody that is worthy of happiness and worthy of love. So are you. Maybe you want your parents to be proud of you, and that's okay. Right? That is all right. And it is okay to express that and work towards that. But at the end of the day, if you can't accomplish that, it doesn't make you any less of a person, no matter how they might try to make you feel.
Ben nods at this. You can tell that, like, he's been listening very carefully. And he respects friends. But there's a part of him that's like, wants to, but can't yet. But he doesn't say that. He just sort of goes, okay, well, having y'all around, and having y'all be so accepting is a good start. And if y'all are proud of me, then maybe I can start to heal and figure myself out. I feel like it's a lot of work to remind somebody every time they feel down. I don't want you to feel like you have to keep, like, reassuring me. I want to get to a point where you are, where I can just be there for myself. But I don't think I'm there yet. And sorry that I'm not.
You see, here's the thing. It's like I said earlier about that bird. Nobody here is doing anything that they don't want to do. Right? You're not a burden, even when you need help reminding yourself that you are somebody that's worthy of pride and worthy of love. Right? Because if I didn't want to remind you, if I didn't have the energy to remind you, if I didn't want to do that, then I don't have to, right? You're not forcing me to do that. I didn't sign a contract with you saying that I have to do that. You're not paying me to do it. I'm doing it because I want to. I want to remind you you are worthy of love and worthy of pride. So, if you ever need to ask for it, that's completely okay. Because sometimes I find it hard to recognize when people might need to hear that. So if you need to hear it out loud from me, just let me know.
I've never had anybody actually tell me that. I've had people tell me that they're, like, proud of me before, but, well, I think I sort of said this earlier, but usually when people would tell me, you can come talk to me, I'd never follow up on it because I never trusted them enough to do that. But you're, like, the first person in my life that I actually feel like I can do that, so thank you. And by the way, that goes in reverse. I know you're, like, way older than me, and, like, your shit is probably pretty heavy too, but I'm here for you too. I know you don't really like to talk about a whole lot of stuff. I feel like your thing is, like, reassuring other people, but you can come to me too. Even if I don't fully understand, like, where you're coming from, because, again, it's an experience I don't have. I think maybe you're right. I am a good listener, and I will listen. I can't guarantee I'll have an answer for you, but just know it goes in reverse as well. And thank you. And just, like, both hands, just like a kid, just, like, wiping his eyes, just like, okay. God, oh. But seriously, you can talk to me. You don't have to talk to me right now, obviously, because we should probably be watching. But yeah, you can come talk to me too. And if you need a reminder of like, actually, no, you probably don't. But if you do, then yeah. Yeah. Can I hug you? I feel like I need a hug right now.
Sure. Yeah, of course.
Finn just like runs over and just like hugs friends and it's just like starts crying again. I think just of like the you thought you were done and then like you get like a really good hug for someone and then it's just like just continues crying. Fully gets friends' shoulder wet. And then like finally sort of gets a hold of himself and clears his vision. It's just like, okay, good talk. God, that was a lot. Thanks. Oh God, I've never done that before. Is that normal? Is that how therapy happens? You just cry a lot? Is that normal? I know crying's normal, but like, is it normal to cry while talking about your parents?
I don't think that you should be confining yourself by what other people's reality is. Even if it wasn't normal, the fact that you're doing it doesn't make it bad or unhealthy. But also, it's a normal way of expressing emotion. And I'm proud of you for having the vulnerability to be able to show that emotion.
Well, I don't think I could do it around anybody else, but you know, you've got a really good vibe to you, so yeah.
Thanks, kiddo.
Well, thank you for listening. I get the feeling I may be doing this a lot in the near future. Just be prepared for that. I know you're okay with it. I'm just warning you. We've only unpacked like a single lunch of the canoe that is my story. So, well, no, I feel like we've got halfway through, but yeah, yeah. Thanks for helping me shoulder the canoe.
All right. And I think that'll end our conversation.
Yeah.
I think at this point Finn realizes that can I do like not a perception check, but can I like I forgot their name. Taylor's been gone for a bit. Do I see them at all?
Yeah, it looks like they're over with Pocket, who's the goblin from earlier, helping them like sort stuff because apparently a bunch of people's bags got mixed up, so a bunch of stuff like isn't where it's supposed to be and it's like all confusing over there. So like they're over there helping get the bags and like food all organized and passed out.
Okay, I was so worried I was gonna be like, where's Taylor? That whole time we're having this like really deep conversation and like unpacking a lot of really important shit for Finn. And then we just look over and Taylor's fucking gone. Okay, good. Yeah, then I'll awkwardly kind of go back to. I think Finn again looks a little embarrassed at having been vulnerable, but sort of feels less embarrassed pretty quickly because Friends is fine with it. So there's a moment of like his face gets a little darker, blushes, and it goes away actually pretty quickly. But he sort of leans back and he's just like, okay, yeah, back to the watching thing that we're supposed to do.
Yeah, so you guys both rolled good. So there are no like signs of danger like around camp. There's no like you're not worried about your safety or anything right now. Like there's not even like it's actually pretty quiet other than the people talking behind you. The only thing that you do notice is like kind of funny conversations happening behind you. So behind you can hear River, the light blue tiefling that's like Basil's newfound friend. He's like feeding both Theodore and Snickerdoodle snacks from like one of their ration bags. um, and like Blizzard, who was like the co-leader of the group, like is like half scolding, half like subtly like also joining him in feeding the pet snacks. Well, I don't know if you can count Theodore as a pet anymore, but feeding the animals, feeding the animals snacks with people in the background. And it's gonna be at this point you switch out. You switch out for breaks. So for second watch, we had Basil and Kokia, and I'm gonna say with you on your watch is also gonna be Pocket and River. So Pocket was the goblin that Kokia was talking with, and River was the one that Basil was getting along with, and the four of you are like you're just like each other's like new like best friend, and because you're so busy talking, and in fact somebody proposes you make snow people, so between the talking and making snow people, you don't think there's any danger, but you're also too distracted to be looking for danger. So by the end of your watch, there is like a snow person per person on watch, so there's now like 4 snow people on the border of your little like on the border of your little camp here. And then Callie, you were working on something, right?
Yeah, I'm just tinkering on my tool thing.
Oh, your the glove. I forgot what
Yep,
we
in
named
my
it.
tent. In my tent. I'm working on that.
Awesome. I say I can't remember. Are you at a level where you can use that yet or no?
No, but basically, like, I'm just using her downtime as, like, she's working on getting it functioning. That way, whenever I hit level 3 and I can use it, then it's like Eureka.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I like that. Was there anyone you wanted to talk to, or is Callie just gonna work on that?
Well, Callie's gonna work on. I don't know if anybody was gonna share tent with her, because then I'm assuming that they would like ask her what the hell she's doing, because she's usually by herself when she's working on the thing.
I'm gonna say, funnily enough, you're actually sharing a tent with Lim right now, who is still asleep, and we're actually gonna shift over to Lim right now. So Lim, the last thing you remember is healing Hug from her corruption, and then you're like, "Yeah, I did it," and then you felt kind of weird, and then you fell asleep. And you are still asleep right now, and this is like probably the weirdest dream you've had ever. Like you know how some dreams you see it from different point of views, where like right now you're not you. You're not really sure who you are right now. Because you've got like gloves on your hands. You're not sure what color skin you have right now. You've also got some just like common like black clothes on right now. Some brown boots. You see from the corner of your vision that you have like a cloak hood pulled up over your head. It isn't until like you look out of the corner of the eye you realize it is a green cloak. And in this like weird dream thing, you're not really sure what this is. You like you see you see you see a bird with a clock for a face approach you, and that bird is an owl with a clock for a face, and that is this what like basically the symbol of Kronos, the god of time. And you, who isn't really you, you're someone else. Upon seeing this bird, just goes, "What? Haven't you done enough already? What are you even doing here? You made it clear you've picked your side. What? You know, this is a new low for you. Are you here to watch me die or something?" And if you want to do like an Arcana check, or something like that, you can do that real quick.
Let's see. Where's my Arcana? Could I do Arcana or Religion?
Yeah, either or.
Let's do Religion just for good luck. Oh yeah. My punishment for being late.
So, you're not really sure what this is, but you feel like you're probably witnessing someone else's either vision or memory. You're not really sure if this is happening current time or like in the past. This person's voice does feel kind of familiar, but you can't quite place it. And so back to like the vision, like the owl with a clock for a face is now like has now flown up to you and is like resting on your shoulder, like pecking your head. Like not, it doesn't hurt, but it is kind of annoying. And you just hear yourself go, "What? What? You picked your side when you put me in this position in the first place. As it is, I remember you justifying your choice, saying that, even though we're close, that family's closer. So I don't know why you're here now. I don't know why you're pretending to help me other than trying to ease your conscience, but it's too late. And you feel yourself push the owl off. And the owl, of course, can fly, so it doesn't like fall to the ground, but it does kind of like fly to the ground and it like coos again. And you feel yourself, like you feel angry, but then this feeling of anger suddenly gets like washed over the feeling of like exhaustion, and you fall to your knees. And it's at this point the owl hops onto your shoulder again, and then you don't know what happens next because you wake up, and I'm gonna assume Callie at this point. Callie just like you hear like Lim like muttering like weird random phrases in their sleep, and then suddenly they're awake. So you're now looking at Callie as she's like working on her thing, and Callie, you're probably sparing a glance at Lim because they like were like tossing and turning and talking in their sleep.
You all right?
Huh? Yeah. Yeah, I'm... Ow, my head hurts. No, I'm fine. Where are we?
We are heading towards where we need to go. We had to stop partway for the night because it's getting late.
Oh, are we on a boat?
No, we're on the ground. Like we
Oh.
just rode horses.
Oh, okay, so I just feel sick to my stomach then.
You sure you're okay?
Yeah, just... Funny dream. Funny dream. Are you okay? How are you guys doing?
Doing pretty good.
Ow, how long have I been asleep?
A few hours.
Oh, what's new?
They got the goblin family to where they needed to go, and we, like I said, we were riding horses heading towards where we need to go to meet the person for the mission. We had to stop halfway to sleep for the night because it's getting late. I think Friends and Finn might be out. Well, actually, with as late as it is now, it might be Kokia on watch now.
Oh, well, I'm glad everybody's okay. Everybody got off the train all right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
And you just see Callie's just like working on like this weird like glove contraption.
Oh, what you got there?
Oh, this is something I've been working on, trying to get it working if it will ever work with me.
What does it do?
You know, I don't know yet. I've been trying to figure it out ever since I stole it.
Ah. Well, I guess that rules out asking the person you got it from how it works.
I mean, I could, but I just don't feel like it.
Who'd you steal it from?
Haven Enterprises.
Good on you. Good on you. Stick it to the capitalists, as
Well,
I always say.
I heard they were working on something kind of dangerous, so I snuck in, and this seemed pretty easy to take, so I'm gonna figure it out.
Well, I wish that I could say that I was proficient in any sort of mechanics, but unfortunately I am ill-equipped for that kind of job.
It's all good. Just kind of tinker with it every once in a while, and then she'll hold up her arm, kind of like this guy here. She has the other little like sleeve thing that is mechanical.
Oh! Does that one work?
Mhm.
Oh, what does that one do?
Oh, this one lets me teleport. Small little distances.
Oh, that's convenient.
Yeah, I can only do it once. It recharges kinetically, so like I have to move around for it to recharge. So it's usually about once every day I can use it.
Oh. That limits the amount of shenanigans you can get up to with that, I suppose.
But you can still have some shenanigans.
Shenanigans are still doable. Oh, goodness. Well. I'm like going through all of my stuff right now, trying to make sure I have everything.
You know, you're
Set up
probably
properly.
hungry. Do you want a snack? They're passing out snacks outside.
As soon as you say that, you just hear like this, like, it sounds like a small creature roaring in Lim's stomach. I go, actually, I'm famished.
Yeah, I think they're passing out snacks outside if you want to go and get some. Plus, friends would probably want to know that you're alright.
It's a good idea. I'm gonna stand up real slow. Oh, kind of do like a little dramatic stretch, you know, get physical for a second. And then I'm gonna go out and get some snacks. Look at these snacks.
Yeah, Lim. So, you go out to get some snacks, and as you do so, you pass Kokia, Basil, and two NPCs who are doing the second watch there. And what's funny is they built a bunch of snow people. What isn't so funny is they haven't seen to notice themselves yet, but you, as you walk by, you notice that one of the snow people have a clock for a face.
That's unsettling. Kokia, that is an excellent ladybug beard you have.
Thank you.
You are very welcome. Now, who's the purveyor of snacks around these parts?
Big Pocket's doing that.
Oh, well, I don't believe I've had the pleasure of meeting Pocket, have I?
You were out.
Well, what is Pocket? Who is Pocket? Where is this at?
Pocket's the cool little goblin over there.
Nice. Is this in the NPC roster?
I think I posted it in character a while back there. Goblin's one of the train thieves from last time.
Oh. Oh. Well, it's good to see that you're on our side now. What kind of snacks do you have, good goblin folk?
Pocket goes, well, if you aren't allergic to nuts, we got some granola bars. If you aren't lactose intolerant, we got cheese. If you're like your friend over there that likes things hot for some reason, we do have hot ginger ale. We also got some berries that are now kind of frozen because of the temperature, but berries, and we also were making some soup.
Ooh. I'd like to take, actually, a handful of the frozen berries and one of those granola bars.
Yeah, go for it. You got a snack.
Yeah. I'm going to eat the granola bar, and then for the rest of this time, I'm just going to be sitting there, like, I guess, suckling on these frozen berries. I couldn't think of any way to say that didn't sound weird, so.
You're like, I'm just gonna go for it. Yeah, so second watch, far as you can tell, there's nothing dangerous nearby. In fact, when like Lim kind of made a face at one of the snow people, you look and it has the same face you gave it in the first place, which wasn't a clock face. and your night's uneventful, and you wake up the next day, and I'm gonna say that you complete the last leg of your journey without incident. And so next session, which is going to be, let me look at my calendar. It's gonna be It's gonna be August the 11th. We are gonna start that session with you having arrived where you need to go, and you get to finally meet the undercover agent there that you were supposed to meet. So thank you folks for sticking around. I know we're supposed to end at midnight. I know we went a little over. So remember, first episode is up on YouTube, Spotify, and Anchor FM. We're working on getting episode 2 up right now. We'll also be working on getting episode 3 up soon. So hopefully we'll have at least 2 up by August 11th. If not, we'll be hopefully close to it. We are just kind of all working together to get that going. So once again, thank you all for listening and stopping by, and we will see you, not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after, August 11th. So, good night, stream.
Thank
Night,
you all
y'all.
for
Thanks for
sticking
watching.
around. Night, y'all.
Night.
Good night, dream.